Hi, good morning, my students. I've missed you all so much. Today, we're gonna explain a new target skill. I'm gonna talk about compare and contrast. So first, let's see what's the meaning of compare and contrast. Compare is when I compare things, it means that I'm describe how two or more things are alike. So let's say that if you have a brother or a sister, if I'm comparing you to them, so I will say what's common between you and your brother or your sister. However, contrast is when you describe how they are different. So, if I'm comparing you and between you and your brother or your sister, and I would like to say what's common between you and what's different between you, so I will use compare and contrast. So, compare and contrast is a method. I'm using it to see what things are alike between two things or more and what things that are different between two things and more. Normally, we use them in everything that we have. So, while we're reading our story that we have already talked about, A Yonder Mountain, we had three characters. So, we're supposed to compare the three characters and say what the things that are alike between them and what the things that are different between them. So let's now take a look on a simpler example. I have the apple and I have an orange. So I would like to compare between apple and orange. So this diagram shows how I can compare between apple and orange, or I can make a compare and contrast between two things. So I drew two circles that they intersect in a middle point. The outer part here and the outer part here, I write down the things that are different between the two things that I am comparing. However, the part that is intersecting here, I'm writing down the things that they are alike and have in common. So, let's start see how we're going to compare and contrast between apple and orange. So, the apple, first regarding the color, the apple is red. However, the orange color is orange. So, they don't have the same color. Regarding the apple, it can be eaten directly. I don't need to peel it out and I can eat its skin. However, in the orange, it must be peeled. I cannot eat the orange directly through its skin or without peeling it. How it feels? The apple feels smooth. So if you touch the apple, you will find that its skin is very smooth. However, the orange is very bumpy. So if I'm touching an orange, it will be very bumpy. So these are some of the characteristics that makes the apple and the orange different. What about how they are alike? We can say that both apple and oranges has different shape. However, they both are round. Also, they both are healthy food and they both are fruit. So, these are some of the characteristics that makes them alike. So that's how we do it in everything we want to compare and contrast. We drew this diagram and we try to compare between both of them to see what things are alike and what things are different. So we write here the different characteristics and we write here the other different characteristics, and then we write in the middle the common characteristics. So whenever you're reading a story and you find that there are some events that you need to compare and contrast, you should do this. Also, whenever you can compare any two things, you can compare two animals, you can compare two elements, you can compare two toys, you can compare and contrast between two movies. So you can compare and contrast anything. So it's a target skill that we can use in our daily life and in our daily routine. We can use it in writing, and we can also use it in reading. I hope it was fruitful for you and it was useful for you. And wait later so we can see how we're going to apply the compare and the contrast on the stories that we have been reading. Thank you.